we have Mr. Feroze Azeez, the Deputy CEO of Anand Rathi Wealth. And we will also be joined by Pankaj Matpal, founder and MD of Optima Money Managers in a while to discuss and debate this further. Feroze, warm welcome and good to have you with us. This clearly is something that you would have been really looking at very closely over the last 3 days or so. I want to first understand, what is the idea that we used to have is when we used to tell retail investors is that have a long-term horizon with your SIPs. And, the longer that you hold, the better it is and the better returns that you get. But all of this is coming under question because there are questions being raised by not anybody, but, very seasoned fund managers. So what exactly is the basis of what Mr. S. Naren has said?
Actually, see, Mr. S. Naren would have said it in a different context. In a small group, he might be speaking to a person who's got 90% in small cap. How do we know? I don't think Naren spoke about this in a TV interview where he was having an uncontrolled audience. He was speaking in Chennai in a small event where people might have got 70% in small cap. So to bring them out of small cap, you can't make them make very, very small statements, right? So quite a few people have also gone into another extreme and gone 80%, 90% small cap. That happened. I was speaking to somebody in my building today, right? And he says, I've got 90% small cap. So he might be addressing an audience which has overexposed to small cap. If he gave a passing remark, kam kar do, क्या कोई सुनता है? नहीं सुनते हैं. जब strong statement मारते हो, तो then there's a probability that 80% small cap comes to 40% small cap. That's why that could have been said. Okay, I don't know the context. So that's point one. If Naren would have said it in a TV interview that small caps are only a buy if it's 20 years, it's unlikely. But that's not commenting on what Sir said. Naren Saab said, we all respect because he is the CIO for the second largest asset management company with a responsibility of 8.5 lakh crores approximately. So now coming to the more important point of data. Data ye kehta hai, we analyzed last 24 years, 10-year SIP returns in Nifty mid cap and Nifty small cap. If there are 109 investors who started their SIP at different points in time, first of every month, and stopped the SIP 10 years from there. Okay. Out of the 109, there's a 0.4% chance that a small cap fund after 10 years, not even a fund, a small cap index, 0.4%, you could have got marginal negative return. Nifty gave all 100 times positive return. Nifty mid cap gave 100 times positive return. So SIP में आपके पैसे बनेंगे या नहीं बनेंगे? म्यूचुअल फंड पे नहीं निर्भर करता कि आप उसको नहीं छेड़ेंगे 10 साल तक, तो बनने की संभावना 99% से ऊपर है स्मॉल कैप में भी, एंड दैट टू एट इंडेक्स लेवल. नाउ देयर आर 2 स्मॉल कैप फंड्स इन माय मॉडल पोर्टफोलियो, एंड आई एम वेरी प्राउड टू से इन्वेस्को स्मॉल कैप फंड हैज फॉलन 1% मोर देन निफ्टी from September 26, 2014 when Nifty touched the peak of 26,200.
Fair point. Now, Feroze, on the data points again, we've just seen how the Jan data has come out. Tell us, what are the reasons that you believe that could have triggered some kind of an outflow when it comes to, investments in small caps, as well as the SIP flows? Are there redemptions due to some reasons that are peculiar to this environment right now? Or is this a trend that usually happens in every cycle? How should one really understand what we are reading out on a day-to-day basis today?
Sakshi, the question for me?
Yes, Feroze.
Yes, great. Sakshi, see, what happens is, September 26 ko peak gayi thi market. Now yes. Where are we? We are at some degree of trough, not at 54 lows. If you look at a 30 group of funds who are supposed to have a similar objective, will they all not be at troughs or at least not at their peaks when they all are supposed to be investing in the 250 stocks carved out as the universe, at least 65% of their money? So will they go up together, go down together? If they are small cap funds, the answer is at least the direction will be identical. Point one. Point two, there are funds which have fallen 12%. UTI small cap fund from 26 September has fallen 12%. There is another fund which has fallen 20%. But what I'm saying is
Okay.
data sometimes can tell you what you push it to tell you. Now you look at the inflow of January. I'm saying 5,200 crores has come into small cap funds, which is the
Okay.
highest I have seen. But if you look at the SIP data, net data, the same data will tell you that SIPs have stopped. So point
Yeah.
I'm trying to make is data can be massaged to speak what you want it to speak. But if you look at clean, orderless data, it says that people are investing in small cap. Why are they investing? Are they investing an obscene amount of money? The answer is no. India has, let's assume, 30 lakh crores of households, money in mutual funds. We have 3 lakh crores in small cap. क्या 10% स्मॉल कैप में नहीं होना चाहिए इंडिया जैसे देश में? आप बताएं, राइट? हम टीवी शो करते हैं तो हम बोलते हैं 20% should be in small cap. But India has
Yes.
only allocated 10% in small cap, and still people are thinking there's so much money coming into small cap. Where is the money? Out of 30 lakh crores, if 20 lakh crores comes into small cap, I believe, I would say that हाँ, अंधों की तरह लोग पैसे डाल रहे हैं. But 3 lakh crores on a 30 lakh crore base, why is it bothering so many people? I can't understand. That's a reasonable asset allocation for India as a whole.
Okay, we'll get Feroze's view on this as well. Feroze, just like how the point that I was making, already 21% lower from the peaks for small caps, and for mid cap 17%. How much more downside do you see? And at this point in time, would you expect investors to double down their investments if they are not overtly invested in mid or small caps, or would you ask them to stay cautious?
I would suggest, like Pankaj Saab said, overexposure hai, तो आप small cap you can reduce it. Overexposure, by which I imply anything which is significantly more than a model portfolio, because that's the expression of how much should be in small cap. We are 18% in small cap. If you have 36%, that in our opinion is an overexposure, right? So overexposure of anything more than 25-30% in small cap space definitely deserves some money off the table. Point one. Point two, I personally think that how much more downside or upside depends on the time. So I can't answer that question unless I put time frames.
Okay.
If you ask me, a lot of pain of small cap is behind us. And small cap is one universe which I don't like to use in English words because there are 250 stocks. Overvaluation of small cap is a wrong statement to make in my judgment, because there is one small cap stock in the NSE small cap 250, which is what mutual fund guys follow, which has a 967 P. Okay, that's called Westlife Food World Limited. वो भी NSE small cap 250 में है, उसकी P 1000 के करीब है. There's also another stock which is Great Eastern Shipping Company, which has a P of 4.88. How can you use one English word to describe something which is at 5p and one is at 1000p? So small cap is all about bottom up. There is generic statements are very scary when it comes to, and second thing, small cap, when a retail investor, Sakshi, when your viewer is hearing small cap, he is going by the word small cap. Let me tell you which is the largest company in small cap, which has a market cap of 52,000 crores. Right? 52,000 crores ki market cap. A retail niveshak is not considering that as small. He might be thinking small means 1,000 crore company, 2,000 crore company. So so English words hide more than they actually state.
Okay. Feroze, to you, do's and don'ts of SIP investments that investors, retail investors at large must know every time we see a downward cycle and every time we see an upward cycle. And of course, when it comes to small caps, which is our basis of our conversation today.
Yes, so don't look at it very often. Forget it for 10 years. If you can't forget it for 10 years, then you will not make money. That's first rule. Just imagine calling the broker and asking him every day, what is my property's price? He will stop picking your call at the 15th day. So why are you so possessive about looking at values of equity just because they're being published on an app? Doesn't mean we see it. So SIP is like a property investment, which people are okay to own a property for 10 years, but they're not okay with SIPs for 10 years. So if you can do that, so the biggest don't is don't pluck the plant and check every day and plant it back. The tree will never come to your life. You'll never be able to see that being a tree ever. So that's one. Second is have SIPs in 4-5 funds. There is also now going to be a rule of 250 rupees per fund per SIP. That implies that you can have further diversification. If you buy 4 schemes, it's likely that you will have 200-300 stocks in your portfolio. Don't be too perturbed. Trust your fund manager to give you long-term returns of 14-15% compounded if you stay invested.
Fair point. Okay, Feroze, and thank you so much to both of you.